Welcome to the first installment of OVC Overtime for the 2016-17 season of OVC Sports. I'm your host, Bryce Robinson. Today we'll be taking a look at all of our fall championships, recapping those events of the completed men's and women's cross country and women's soccer, as well as looking forward to the upcoming women's volleyball championship. The men's and women's cross country championship was the first of our fall championships to take place and was run 2 weeks ago. The host, Belmont University, held this year's cross-country championship out at Percy Warner Park in Nashville, Tennessee. The preseason favorite in both men's and women's, Eastern Kentucky University, looked to continue both of their conference title streaks. The championship races took place on October 29th, with the women's 5K starting at 9 a.m. and the men's 8K taking off at 10 a.m. UT Martin's Ann Assapen finished first in the women's 5K with a final time of 17:03, followed closely by Charlotte Eimer from EKU with a time of 17:04. It would be EKU, however, that would take home their 5th consecutive women's cross-country title and 30th overall title. On the men's side, Tennessee Tech's Gilbert Boyd finished first overall in the men's 8K with an impressive time of 24:20, followed up by EKU's Ambrose Maritim with a time of 24:30. EKU would manage to take home yet another title for their men's team as well and notch their 11th straight conference championship and 25th overall title. Teams for the OVC will compete at 3 NCAA cross-country regionals this Friday, looking for top performances to advance to the national championship meet in Terre Haute, Indiana on Saturday, November 19th. The second of our OVC Fall Championships concluded this past weekend as Murray State hosted the Women's Soccer Championship semifinals and final. Murray State, along with the Eastern Kentucky Colonels, finished the year as conference season co-champions. The Racers, however, finished the season with a higher point total and were thus selected to host the second half of the tournament. The quarterfinals of the championship, featuring the number 3 through number 6 seeds, were played on Sunday, October 30th at the campuses of Tennessee Tech and SIUE. The first of these quarterfinals was between the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles and the Belmont Bruins. Tennessee Tech came away with a decisive 3-0 victory with goals in the 21st, 44th, and 71st minutes. The second quarterfinal match had the SIUE Cougars hosting the Austin Peay State Governors. This game went through regulation and both periods of golden goal extra time scoreless as neither team conceded a goal. The SIUE Cougars managed to top Austin Peay in penalty kicks 5-4 and advanced on to the semifinals. The semifinals of the women's soccer tournament took place on Friday, November 4th, with the first game pitting the number 3 TTU against the number 2 seeded Eastern Kentucky Colonels. Both teams played aggressively and were well matched, taking the game through regulation and both halves of golden goal overtime until EKU and penalty kicks managed to pull out a 4-2 victory. The second semifinal featured number 4 SIUE against the number 1 Murray State Racers. In the 56th minute, SIUE Sydney Moore put one past keeper Alex Steigerwald to put SIUE up 1-0. Murray State, however, would answer with a goal from OVC Player of the Year Harriet Withers in the 64th minute to bring the game back even at 1 apiece. Regulation time ended and yet another match was taken into extra time. In the 99th minute, with just 12 seconds left in the first extra time period, Peyton Reynolds of SIUE with a breakaway assist from Carolyn Hofert put the winning goal in the back of the net to advance SIUE to the championship game, upsetting number 1 Murray State. With the championship table set, number 4 SIUE against number 2 Eastern Kentucky, the teams would have a rest day before the championship on Sunday. The teams took to the pitch to decide this year's OVC Women's Soccer Championship. SIUE would be the first to strike in just the 2nd minute of play with a cross from Emily Grawl to Lindsay Fensel. EKU would not be able to manage an equalizer, and with the end of regulation, SIUE secured their bid into the NCAA tournament and win their 2nd title in the past 3 years. Our fall championship schedule concludes this next week with the women's volleyball tournament. The location and host for this championship is still up for contention amongst the top teams in the conference. Here's a look at the current standings. Murray State and SIUE are currently vying for both the conference season champion title and hosting rights for this year's tournament. The final regular season games will conclude this Friday and Saturday, with the top 8 teams moving on to tournament play. Be sure to tune in to catch all of the action around the conference on the OVC Digital Network. That wraps it up here for this episode of OVC Overtime. I'm Bryce Robinson. See you next time.